This is our new TX rack, manufactured by Schaumburg Specialties. I want to point out some of the great features that we've got. One thing, we've got a stamped side panel that has no welding, no seams to collect material. Also want to point out the strength of this rack. This is a rack that collapses, comes in a box. You can bolt it together yourself, but it's very strong for its class. We have loaded this rack up with 20 pans with over 24 pounds per level. And just to demonstrate the strength of it, what I wanted to point out was the design of these cross braces. This little gusset here is what gives the strength, the rack the strength, and we've got them at the top, at the bottom, at the middle point, and at the top. So that's what gives the rack its strength. If you notice that when you push the rack from the side, there's very little sway. If you can see a little bit here, but comparable economy rack wouldn't hold up at all, as you will see. That's our TX rack. It's available in 4 models: TX 203, 154, 125, and 106. That's a 10 pan, 12 pan, 15 pan, and 20 pan capacity. The quality of the TX rack versus the economy rack. As you'll see in this video, the economy rack, which you can buy at much cheaper prices than our TX rack, but it doesn't hold up as well. It's not really worth it. So I want to show you a few little things as we run through this video. You probably will notice that pushing it from the side, that's the weakest point of the rack. If you push it from the end, it would last longer. And there's about 500 pounds on this rack. But what I'm trying to do is to show you the weak points of a very cheap pan rack or speed rack. So if you notice how I'm wiggling it back and forth, just pushing it back and forth to exploit the weaknesses. If you notice in some of the video, there are a few pans that have dropped down a slide level, and you see the way it's leaning, very pronounced lean to it. It's really overloaded, but over time, that is what you'll get even with a light load. Eventually the rack will start to loosen up and we'll have problems with stability. Things will come loose, it'll lean, and eventually it will fail or tip over, as you see at the end of the video. So just a simple narrative of this demonstration. In this video where we're demonstrating the TX rack, you will notice there's much less sway in the TX rack than in the generic economy rack that you can buy for reduced pricing. That's because the design, there's gusseting incorporated into the design of the TX rack, and that's what you are paying for. Much more sturdy, much more stable, supports the 500 plus pounds on this rack. The trays stay on the levels. They don't drop as you get with the economy rack. Very sturdy, very strong, well designed, and very little sway in it. So if you need a quality pan rack, you know where to come to. Schaumburg Specialties Company is the manufacturer of both the TX rack and the Shopcraft line. We build things to last. So if you need help or need quality equipment for your bakery, contact us today.